is Bold TV.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bold TV, beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities television. We come to you every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. on our social media platforms, YouTube and Facebook. And we encourage you to see this episode and past episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/boldtv_boldhearts, or go straight to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/boldheart network. We are a network of women with disabilities that are characterized as beautiful and outstanding. And we bring you on Bold TV topics that would speak to disability and its intersection with gender. And because we're women, we focus a lot on women with disabilities. If you want to support us or reach out to us, you can reach out to any of the co-hosts or send us an email on boldheartsnetwork.info@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you. So the kind of guests that we're looking forward to receiving are women with disabilities and women who are experts on any opinion. Also, if you are a member of the disability community, especially a woman, and you have a topic that is, you really like us to speak to, you can always reach out and recommend. And so today we're going to have another exciting topic, and we're going to be looking at a topic that we have crafted as the impact of disability on identity. Before we go into the topic, I would like the ladies to introduce themselves as we usually do. Name, type of disability, what you do, and where you are located.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Afyong Etum. I am a lab scientist. I live and work in the beautiful capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Uyo. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury, and I'm a member of Bold Hearts Initiative, also a co-host on Bold TV. It's good to be.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies. It feels good to be here once again. My name is Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, a visually impaired person who is based in Abeokuta, Ogun State. I'm a co-host on Bold TV. I'm also a journalist and a disability and gender rights advocate, a disability inclusion facilitator, amongst other things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome as always. And Comfort, please introduce yourself, our guests in the house.
Good day, everyone. My name is Comfort Ekwo. I'm a lady with low vision. I'm a disability and gender rights advocate. I work with Surrey Growth Initiative for Women and Youth with Disabilities. I'm also a disability correspondent working with Fun Times magazine. It's nice to be here.
It's nice to have you as well. Welcome, Comfort. Comfort is our guest on this episode. We have another co-host in the house. Osaki, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good morning. I'm a polio warrior, a freelancer and a farmer, a co-host of Both TV, and advocate for disabilities. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Osaki. All right, Oge Passion, quickly please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, beautiful ladies and our guests out there. My name is Oge Passion. I'm a health and business coach. I'm an above knee amputee. I reside in Makurdi, Benue State. So nice to be here.
Nice to have you as always. That is another co-host. So altogether, we have amazing ladies who are going to join me in the conversation today. As brief as it is, it's going to be very impactful. We're looking at the impact of disability on identity, the impact of disability on identity. Before we go into the topic, I'll introduce myself. My name is Freki Andy, the host for this episode. I'm a member of Bold Hearts Initiative, the ED of Faker Foundation. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury, public health practitioner, among other things, and I'm based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, aka South South. So welcome again. So when we hear the word disability, whether we like it or not, there are people that have different connotations. They ascribe different meanings. They ascribe different definitions, different understandings to disability. But one of the prevailing stereotypes, or should I say the narrative, when people hear the word disability is limitation. So there is an association of limitation to disability. And when we talk about the impact of disability on identity, what that simply does is that it transfers as an identity on a person with disability as a person with limitation. So my first question to our ladies is this: even though people, when they hear the word disability, they ascribe limitations to you, for you, what does disability mean, and how has it shaped your sense of identity? When you hear the word disability, even though people say, oh, limitation, for you as an individual, what does disability really mean, and how has it shaped your sense of self and identity? Afyon, you have the floor.
Okay, yes. So for me, disability, once upon a time, yes, that stereotype of limitation was my prevailing thought, because it seemed like everything we once knew how to do became, quite a chore and an uphill task. But as time went on, I've come to see disability as something that has enhanced my creativity. So I can link disability to creativity. It has taught me how to think outside, the prescribed box. It has taught me how to do things differently. It makes me, it has taught me how to adapt. So for me, disability is, for me, I link it to creativity and adaptability. That's what that
Awesome.
is for me.
Awesome. So yes, you acknowledge that she also did see disability as a limitation, but for her, the limitations have been thrown through the window, and rather, when it comes to shaping her sense of self and identity, she sees disability as adaptability and creative thinking that is outside the box. Beautiful. Comfort, just respond to that question briefly. What does disability really mean, and how has it shaped your sense of self and identity?
Beautiful question. Well, to me, I've never seen disability as an inability or like a disadvantage. Well, a lot of people may see it that way, because I feel disability is just,
Yeah, how we go straight to how you
yes,
see it. We know how you
okay,
see it. Go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, how I say it, I feel disability is just, doing things in a different way. But anyways, we still get the work done. Because I am visually impaired, I have a disability, and somebody who is not visually impaired, and we have the same task. But I can still do that thing, but I'll just do it differently. So I just see disability like doing something in a different way. And this has also really helped me to be very, very, very creative, because I know that I might not be able to do these things the way every other person is doing it. So I will just have to devise a way to do it and get same results.
Fantastic. So I like how you put it. She sees disability as doing things differently, but still getting the job done. So while we may conform to a certain way to do things, the reality is that there are different and many unique ways of getting things done without necessarily conforming to what has been designated the norm. So for her and her sense of self and identity, she has seen disability as doing things differently, but getting the job done. Beautifully said. So Tomisin, many people with disabilities, talk about being labeled by society. I've already told you one of the labels, which is limitation. But how for you now, how do you think external perceptions and stereotypes impact personal identity? Has it impacted you in any way? How do you think somebody's thinking may, if, has impacted on your personal identity? Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Initially, when I got visually impaired, I listened more to what people have to say. I had a lot of you cannot, you shouldn't. Sometimes not even you cannot, you shouldn't, you mustn't, be going out, you mustn't think of going back to school. I had a lot of that. And that's, out of their own personal perspective, not necessarily experience, but the lenses at which they view when you suddenly become a visually impaired person. For instance, in my culture, it is regarded that the eye is the king and the overall head of the whole body. So it's assumed that when you lose that sense of sight, you're completely finished or finished completely, depending on which way you want to look at it. And so you would have a lot of, oh, just be here, just stay here. Probably we just get somebody to get you pregnant on the long run, and then you have an offspring that would later grow up so fast. I don't know how, but would come back to take care of you as a blind person. So I heard a lot of that. In fact, at some point when I go back to school, some people didn't believe I was in school, and then they were, simply questioning my parents that you're wasting your money. I mean, how is she reading? How is she studying? And all of those things. And like I said, it's not born out of their own experience, but just mere perception, societal stereotypes, cultural bias and beliefs and things like that. But it has not stopped me because it has always been, I've always been a solution-oriented person. And so when the impairment came, what was in my mind is just, my life cannot end like this. There must be something that can be done. There must still be something I could do. And today I'm grateful for those bold steps that I have taken back then. It has definitely not limited me or made me, fall into that perception of what the society believes that disability should look like or be like.
All right. So for her, it was real. All those words that end with N apostrophe T, or those things. I can. No, your own is can't. I should. No, shouldn't. Would. No, wouldn't. Or So those negatives. And like you said, it's really not even born out of, sometimes not even malice. So sometimes it's coming from a place of, let's just protect this person from the ills of the world. The world is evil. However, when those kind of things happen, those external perceptions and stereotypes, what they do is that they project limitation. They project inability. They project just stay here. They project fragility. They project vulnerability. And this, sometimes persons with disabilities take on the identity of that vulnerability, that limiting identity, that cannot identity, that downed identity. So my question is, some people, and this goes to Oge Passion, some people actually struggle with seeing disability as part of their identity. I have met somebody who was obviously a lady with disability, and her response when I asked was, what kind of disability do you have? Was, oh, God forbid, I don't have a disability. And I now was like, yeah, me, did I just curse you? I didn't curse you. I was just trying to ask question. So she just did like this, hey, God forbid, I don't have. I say, it's all right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So many people, struggle with seeing themselves and disability as part of their identity, while others embrace it fully. So my question is, how do you personally navigate the balance? How do you navigate the balance of accepting, of embracing, of rejecting, whatever? Go ahead, keep it brief.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we cannot deny the fact that we have a disability. That's the truth. And that starts with self-awareness. What you tell yourself, oh, this situation has happened, and it doesn't change who I am. It does not limit me from achieving my potentials in life. It even gives me an opportunity for me to move on in life, because I'm going to be unique in my own way, and being able to, do life. Probably people will begin to look and wonder, how is this person achieving it? So it gives me an opportunity to be unique and move my path faster, because I don't have competitors. Even if we have competitors, even if we have people with disability, we are not much compared to the general public. And the people who believe in themselves that they can, be who God has made them to be, may not be as much as people who don't. Not because they don't believe, but probably because of family or society or whatever that has been imposed on them. So you see that we are very little that are fighting this cause as people with disability. So it doesn't stop me. Yes, I have a disability. I cannot hide that fact. Even when people tell me, oh, yeah, you don't have a disability, I say, no, I have a disability and I've accepted my disability, but I am not disabled. Okay? Anybody can choose to be disabled. Being disabled is a choice. So for the fact I have a disability does not make me disabled. I just have to, work on my mindset, my skill set, and see what I can do with my life going forward. Even when challenges come, I tell myself, I have a challenge. Many other people, every human goes through challenge. Okay? So that's how I go about it. I go about it positively, believing that I can still do things despite my disability. Thank you.
Awesome contributions. In that place, she has said many things. She has talked about the place of self-acceptance, not denying the fact that there is an obvious disability. In fact, even if it's an invisible disability, as it were, because we have psychosocial disability. In her case, what she's saying is that there is a place of, number one, self-acceptance and recognition that, yes, this is what it is. The second one is, she talked about developing one's mindset, which has to do with having a positive mindset about what has happened or the disability. Then she talked about something else, because you can believe in yourself, but she talked about developing one's skills set. Why? Because your identity is not just tied to you having a disability or something that you have a disability, but what value do you bring? And it comes with a lot of skills and development. And that is where personal and professional development comes into play, especially when it comes to identity. Talked about developing a skill set. She talked about believing in herself, because you can go with all the skill you want, then somebody will now still want to use disability to diss your skill. Then she talked about something else. She talked about the fact that even when people want to portray the fact that she doesn't have a disability, she corrects them and tells them, yes, I have a disability. However, I am not allowed it to disable me. Powerful sentences that you must understand. Why? Because disability is one thing, an impairment is one thing, but the disabling process is a whole different conversation, and it has to do with a lot of interaction. And she has talked about the fact that she has not allowed disability to disable her. In other words, to not allow her to keep it in one place. All of this in order to be able to fully navigate the fact that disability can impact on a person's identity. Now, speaking about self-acceptance, there's another aspect of acceptance, and that has to do with others, accepting. And I want to ask Osaki, what role does acceptance from family play in shaping positive identity? What role does it? Because you can accept yourself, then other people, their own drama. So what role does acceptance from family, play in shaping positive identity? Osaki, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, all through my life, I've lived with disability. So as to that question, it's a good one, because at the moment I had disability, there was confusion in the air. So what will this child come out to be, and all the rest. And fortunately, they took me to a home where they raised children with disability, the physical disability. So when I finally came back to my family, then I find that, so something can be out of this child, and automatic their perspective change, and you're like, wow, that means this child still has more to deliver in society. And all of that gave them like, okay, let's see how much we can do so that this child can get successful story at the end of the day. So their support was there, because it gives me this strength. I had the strength, a fulfillment of goals in life. I remember an uncle, he would tell me that, do you know one day you will stay on your own? You need to know this, you need to know that, you need to do this. And at times they will carelessly just say, do you know you get married one day? So all of that, like, okay, life is more than the disability I have. It's just that's a different thing. But I still have more and more potentials in life to play as a human being, as a woman with disability. There's still more that's expected of me. So all of that, they allow me to have the general training of a child. So if other children are washing plate, to say, Saki, you wash. If that we sit down, they will bring the plates together and bring the water, and I'll do all of that. So that support of, okay, this child can do something. So that strength, that care, that love was all, and that gathered together and built me outside the training I had from this church.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You know why I asked Osaki that question? Because her family came in two folds. If you follow this progress of her story, you would see that her immediate family was thrown into confusion. And whether we like it or not, if Osaki had remained in that confusion state, her identity would not have been as balanced as it is. But luckily, they were able to seek for support in another family structure that became her immediate family, which is the home where she was sent to. And thank God for the training of the Daughters of Charity of Faith that they have when they are in Compassionate Center. They raise those children as if it's home. They don't do it like, it's home first. They don't do those things as if it is the home. That's acceptance for a child. Wow, goes a long way, because I think people don't understand that For children with disabilities, if the immediate family does not accept you, the thought is if the people that even gave birth to me don't even want to, is it the outside people? And they'll now for the rest of their lives be seeking validation from the wrong persons. So that story was told because sometimes, even if your immediate family does not give you that support and you're able to find it somewhere, embrace it because it will help in shaping identity. And thank God the lessons were learned by immediate family when she was now, had to go back home and they saw that, that there is something that can form from there and they gave her the support. I like the example that you gave where they say, when it's time to wash plate, all the children wash plate. It's good though, because sometimes some children with disability, they will keep them one side, then all their life they will now be thinking that they are very special. So when people are doing things them too cannot do, and I find that as a problem for children with disabilities. So thanks so much for sharing your story. I want to bring to Comfort the same question, but I want to ask, what role does acceptance from friends and community play in shaping positive identity? Just keep it short. Go ahead, Comfort. Friends and society, community.
Okay. So, from my own experience, from my friends and family, that was where my first confidence came from. And even to date, sometimes I forget I even have a disability. I live my life like, there's nothing like disability existing in me. And this confidence really came from my friends and family because my family never saw that disability in me. They just know what I can do. They know the essence to, where I cannot and they step in and they don't really use words on me and they are not ashamed of me. They accept me everywhere. Like I'm even a confidant of my family. Like there's so much respect and belief in me. And I think that love has also transferred to other people. It has also transferred to family friends, to other family members, and to even people in my neighborhood, looking at me from the lens of my parents. If these people would value me this much, then they cannot do less. That is what I have observed. And because of that confidence and that love I had from home, even when I went to school, I never saw myself less because I know, I was loved for where I was coming from. No, nobody have ever talked me down. And the confidence I placed on myself, I think it has also helped other people who don't even know me personally. When you just see me and you're like, oh, this girl is visually impaired and she will accept this esteem, you just have to come to that level where I am to be able to interact with me. So this is how it has really, really helped me.
Awesome. So she's talked about family again, and then she talked about how that has extended to how people now perceive her coming to his face. There's something that you said that acceptance has helped you to not feel less than others, because when your peers respect you and begin to see you for who you are, there's a reaffirmation that yes, I also have the right to be here. Is a confidence booster, and it's like a cycle. You have the confidence goes out there, and it just goes round and round. There's something I want to say about this before I come to Afyong to ask a question. When you have acceptance from family and friends or the community, there's something it does. At a point, you actually forget that you have a disability. Sometimes they even forget. They will not send you a message. They'll be like, hey, I forgot. And I'll be like, it's okay, you forgot, Abby. So you just forget. And sometimes some people now not even believe that you have a disease. Is she the one that did it? Let me tell you something that happened. We're currently having holiday club in Eleanor for Fake Care Foundation. So the first day we had a medical outreach. So I was there doing malaria testing, So when the children come close, they will see the chair. Then when I do my stuff, I'll do. So it was time to go. And then I wanted to leave. So my car was parked outside. So I went, the staff helped me to enter. They put the chair in the boot and all that. Now the children now left what they were supposed to do. I started arguing. They started arguing. Some said that, how am I driving? Am I pretending? That then one girl was saying, no, she knows Auntie Freaky very well. That they were not like from there, they gathered, they were having conversation. She knows Auntie Freaky very well. That Freaky is not pretending. Then somebody was not like, but how is she doing it? They were just there. So my dad was like, see what they were doing, it was not debate. One was like, no, I'm not saying no, but I know that. No, at the end of the day, the other one was not like Auntie Frecky's advocate. That you see, Auntie Frecky can do like she can do anything. It doesn't matter. They were not there arguing. I just that guy went and bought biscuits, came shared and went away and all that. What am I saying? What am I saying? And a positive identity has been created. Those children can never forget that even if somebody has disability, person can do anything. That is what happens a lot of times with us. We need to be able to create that confidence that people even start doubting, or you even have this disabled, are we, what's happening here? Champion, I want to ask this question. How have you handled moments when society tries to define you only, and this is very serious because you are a medical lab scientist. I can imagine you've told me stories of how people have said you are even the patient, they don't even want you to not even touch their samples. But how have you been able to handle those moments? Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you for the question. I'm just laughing about the children because sadly, children have been, the adults, have passed on their ignorance without knowing, and their bias to children because they tend to make, I've seen children that, are afraid of persons with disability. But after, with children, their curiosity wins out in the end and they will come close and like, I always tell them, I give you 5 minutes. You will come close. I will pretend like I haven't seen you. And then next thing you thought, somebody is trying to push you from behind, sneaking behind you. And I'm like, what are you looking for? So, to the question you just asked, yes, it can be tough because, sometimes you try to, something as simple as having a phone conversation. And you know that, most people, they don't see beyond the disability. So, imagine having a phone conversation and you call your name. They don't even bother, they don't know your name until you now describe yourself by the disability. That, oh, okay. It can be frustrating because it makes you feel like, is that all you saw? Is that all there is? So it can be frustrating. It's annoying. You call somebody, you're talking, and then they don't remember anything except the fact that you were a chair or bicycle, as some people will call it. It's very annoying. And, from personal experience, at work, there are situations where they were like, will you be able to do this? I remember when I was first employed, everybody was confused. I showed up for work, all excited and like, oh yes, let's show them what we can do. And then you show up and the rest of the world does not know what you can do. And then they were like, I got to hear later because I was there for a few weeks and I was not doing anything. I would just show up at the end of the day, go back home. Nobody was asking me do this or do that. And I'm wondering what's going on. I got to hear from my friend, my secondary school friend. She was the one, because we are doing studying the same course. And she's in Calabar. I got to hear from her that, when one of my supervisors went to Calabar and was talking about it, somehow the conversation, I came up in the conversation that he was saying, that they don't know what to do. Oh, what can she do? What would they give me to do? And my friend now, she became my champion. So like, what do you mean? What do you mean, what can she do? Give her work. Have you given her work and she did not do it? My friend was all up. If she could have arrested somebody, she would have done so. When they now came back, that was when the man now called me to his office and was like, okay, we are going to assign you to this bench. Are you sure you can do it? I said, sir, just give me work. All you have to do is just make room for me. Create space for me. Just make sure you can rearrange the office a bit so that I can have access. I'm good. If I have a table, and that's how, the whole thing started. I had to, step up and say, oh, this is what you can do for me to help me do what you need me to do. And eventually, the benches were higher than me. I got them to make one that, was at my level. And work was assigned to me. They almost kept me there for another 1 year because they didn't still know what else to do. But I kept insisting. And so today, the story is different. Today, I get to teach other people. I get to supervise. The story is different. So we've come a long way from there. But you have to define that you have to play a part in changing the narrative, or else it will remain the same.
Yes, so you have to play a part in changing the narrative. Else you remain that girl when they use wheelchair, that girl when they go get disability. That will be all there is about you, which is unfortunate because whether we like it or not, there is more to you. So, Otomisin, what advice or counsel would you give to young women with disabilities struggling with their identity and self-worth? Go ahead.
Thank you very much. The very first advice I'll give to you is, as a young woman with disability, would be self-acceptance. Accept the disability first. That's the first thing you need to do. Know that it has become a part of your life and your routine. And that way you are able to embrace yourself. That way you are, able to instill some a sense of self-confidence, and then you can project to the world. Also, I would say that the way you dress is the way you are dressed. Our sense of dressing or outfits, or what do I say now? Presentation, physical presentation, has a way of also, presenting us in a positive identity. It has a way of also allowing people to stop and want to listen to you. It has a way of people looking beyond your sitting on a wheelchair or using a white cane or an hearing aid and wanting to listen and understand what you're saying. Another thing is um, growing, learning and growing. There's no mistake in asking what you don't know. There's no mistake in getting to learn. There's no mistake, even learning as much as how to use courtesy, how to speak in public, how to, interact in public. There are soft skills around that area. Oge was talking about skill sets the other time. It's if you like, accept yourself, look good, speak good English, but you're empty inside, you don't have anything to offer to the community, your identity will still be rooted in being a person with disability. So these are some of the advice I can give to any young woman out there wanting to be identified as a human being, not just a person with a disability.
Thank you so much. She has said three key things. She said self-acceptance is a good place to start. And then she hit a passion of mine, which is looking good. My father always said looking good is good business. Then the third one is don't just look good, let there be something upstairs or in your hand. When you come forth in your nice dressing, let it not be that you come have something of value to offer by way of a skill set. All right, still advising or counseling young women with disabilities struggling with an identity and self-worth. We've said three, so I would add comfort. Comfort, you can add one. What would be your one counsel that you would give a young woman with disability? If you are still there, go ahead.
Okay, so one thing I would tell women with disability to do is any circle you don't feel comfortable, please change circle, because there are some circle you find yourself, people that always talk down at you, people that always break you, even when you are trying to put yourself together, even when you are trying to bring value, they don't really see you, they don't see what you bring, and they might always have a way of taking you back from where you are coming to. Always surround yourself with people that appreciate you, people that see your self-worth, people that see your value, and people that see you first before your disability.
Awesome. Always have people around you that see you, not just your disability. This is so true. Some people see only the disability, they don't see beyond it. If that is your circle, if that is your inner circle, change that circle. Okay, counsel a young lady with disability. One advice.
Okay, my one advice to a young woman with disability is always show up. Always show up, regardless. You might just be the person that would bring, hope to other persons, even people that don't have a disability. Just mere listening to you. It's just like when people hear Nick Vujicic, the man without limbs, and he's able to do great things. Even to some people, they are like, if Nick Vujicic can marry a very beautiful woman without limbs, that means there's hope for them. They don't have a disability, but now they are just comparing themselves with a person that has a disability on both limbs and is conquering the world. You see, so always show up, because you don't know who you are inspiring. If not today, it can be in many years later when people go on to look at your works. At first, you may think that those things may not matter at that time, but because you have these things available, especially on the internet, the world is watching. Always show up regardless. Thank you.
Show up regardless. And she just went far. Show up like Osaki. Show up like Oluwatomisin. Show up like Coach Oge. Show up like Afion. Show up like Comfort. Show up like Moa. Whoever will be show up. We are showing up. So show up. And what she said is really true. Your showing up doesn't just do wonders for yourself. It does wonders for persons with disabilities and persons without disabilities. So let us begin to wind this down. If you had to describe your identity in one bold word or sentence. Think well, that goes beyond disability. What did you say? In other words, when you on your mic now, I don't want to hear I am a woman with disability. No, we are aware. We you have introduced yourself already like that. So now think about your sentence. I give you a second. If you had to describe your identity, so in other words, you know when people fight on the road, they say, "Why you don't know who I am?" And I'm asking you, "Why you do know?" So I'm asking you, who are you beyond disability? So if you had to describe your identity in one bold word or sentence, please, not an episode, one bold word or sentence that goes beyond disability, what would you say? Osaki, go.
Thank you, Frankie. Okay, that one sentence I would say is that I'm bold and smiling, beautiful lady with talent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Smiley, beautiful lady with talent. Tomisin, go.
I am a woman of purple abilities. Thank you.
Wait, we shall understand popular abilities one day. Passion. Okay, go ahead.
Just from the color purple, dignity, royalty, empowerment, upliftment, beautiful, all the things that are good.
That are purple. Don't worry, I know much. I know a lot about purple. Okay, Passion, go ahead.
Okay. I am the one and only Oge Passion.
It can't be like brand. In fact, you trade it because once you say okay, passion, you know who it is. Comfort.
Yeah.
I would say I am a unique, resilient, a leader, and a change maker.
Boom. Unique, resilient leader and change maker. Afio, you.
I am valued.
Your network
That's
not
all I
good.
would say. I am
Don't talk about it.
valued.
Hey, she's valued.
I
Now,
am valued.
oh, my sister, she is valued and valued and all of that. Amazing. So you've heard the ladies describe their identity in one bold sentence. And for me, I would say I am not only beautiful and outstanding, I am absolutely a change maker. I am positively a life giver. And finally, I am the one that can change your idea to reality. Trust me, I really can. All right,
One
that has
sentence you want us to give. You gave like a paragraph.
been. I'm a life giver. I bring life into the earth by the Spirit. My God. Okay, moving on. So, in that episode, and we hope that you have seen that yes, disability may have an impact on identity, but it is what you allow that remains the identity that you insist on. You are more than disability, a lot more. Do not allow anybody to only define you by disability, whether visible or invisible. This has been Beautiful Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities Television, Bold TV, coming to you on another beautiful Saturday this month. And we hope that you will stay tuned to our program next Saturday by 10:30 a.m. on our YouTube and on our Facebook channel, where we will have another amazing conversation with another set of beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities. Until then, please stay calm and find who you are and bring it without apology. Ladies, please unmute yourselves and say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
It was nice hearing you.
Bye.
This is Bold TV.